Hi, Rolando. Let's look at this essay today. Traditional foods being replaced by fast food. Let's see what you wrote. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether the emerging popularity, singular, of fast food over traditional foods in many countries has a negative impact on families, individuals, and society. The assessor will discuss both sides using examples from the UK government and Oxford University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay. Um, well, the issue with this is that they haven't asked you to just discuss both sides, but they've asked you far more specifically to what extent do you agree or disagree. So for that reason, you really do need to take a position on this and you have to answer it. You have to address it in your introduction. Okay, so let's move on. There is ample evidence that, let's see, prolonged ED dependency and consumption of fast foods cause a lot of undesirable effects to everyone's health and well-being. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, fast foods are normally packed frozen, contain, with a no S, a lot of preservatives and harmful substances in its preparation to keep the flavor appetizing, like MSG and salt. Secondly, this type of food, singular. What happened here? This type of food is served through quick cooking or reheating to be able to serve immediately to its customers. The food experts have warned the public that these kinds of foods are likely to cause critical illness such as cancer. For example, a recent empirical research by, not A, get rid of A because research is uncountable. Recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that that modern countries with a lot of fast food, no S, businesses and growing populations consuming them are the top countries with a higher rate of colon cancers. It must not be forgotten that although fast foods are are a very convenient way to satisfy hunger and cravings, we should be extra cautious to ensure our body is not taking too much of unhealthy foods. Okay, my concern here is that this essay is asking you to talk about this shift away from traditional food towards fast food and whether it has a negative effect on families, individuals, and society. Here, I feel like you were just telling us the negatives of fast food in general. And so it was a little unfocused. You needed to focus on these three aspects, or at least one of those aspects. And then you have to focus on the other aspects in the following paragraph, okay? But you really do need to focus on individuals, society, and family. It's also a good idea to try to incorporate something about some sort of comparison with traditional food when appropriate, okay? So, for example, you could say something like, behind this is twofold. Firstly, unlike traditional foods, which are made fresh, fast foods are normally packed frozen and contain a lot of preservatives and harmful substances. So, do you understand? There's this inherent comparison when you state it like that. So, there were a lot of different things you needed to incorporate. But this is why I said it felt a little unfocused, because you just talked about the negatives of fast food, but you were supposed to actually include several other things here. Okay, let's see. Therefore, it is conclusively clear. I don't know why you hit enter here. You probably shouldn't have. Although fast food can provide an instant meal for a busy individual, the side effects it will bring on one's health should not be ignored. Okay, so only in this last sentence you included something about the individual. I don't know that it's quite enough, all right? But, okay, yeah, don't hit enter here. It's all part of one paragraph, and so the examiner is going to assume that maybe you're trying to start a new paragraph, and then that's inappropriate paragraphing, and that's going to get your score marked down for coherence and cohesion. All right, let's see. Although there is a case that family gathering, such as parties, can serve fast foods, the fun and more family bonding moments gained from traditional way of preparing foods through home-cooked meals cannot be overstated. All right, this is a nice attempt, but it needs to be rewritten. First of all, this is very effective when the part here in the although somehow links back to what you just talked about, okay? And it's supposed to be a segue between the previous paragraph and this paragraph when you are actually switching sides. As far as I know, you're not switching sides here. So, for example, if you had talked about how great fast food is or some advantages of it, okay, and one of them had been, hey, aren't they wonderful for family gatherings, then this kind of thing would have been appropriate. Does that make sense? So, I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Let me try it again. So this whole thing about although there's a case for family gatherings, etc. If you had written something related to that in the previous paragraph, then this would be okay. And then this creates a nice link between your two body paragraphs. But since you didn't do that, this feels kind of out of left field, like it's completely irrelevant to anything else you're saying. So it doesn't really belong here. Additionally, I thought that the grammar needed to be reworked. Okay, yeah, so let me try that again. Grammatically, this sentence is off. But rather than correct it grammatically, because it doesn't really fit with what you're trying to say anyway, I would like to just get rid of it if we could and do something else. So before I do that, I want to read the rest of your paragraph. I got to tell you that I think this paragraph looks a little short. Let me see. Yeah, you only have like 3 other sentences. After this one, we've already gotten rid of this sentence. We have to rewrite it. So it does feel to me that this paragraph is underdeveloped. I mean, just look at it here. You see? And then in comparison, your previous paragraph is so much longer. So you spent a ton of time developing here, and then this is like half the length, if that. And that's not such a great idea because they want to make sure that you're developing all the sides of the essay fairly equally, okay? And that you're not really focusing on one side a lot and then one side considerably less. So you have to try to balance out your paragraphs better. All right, so we got rid of this sentence here. Let's continue. This is largely because family members or individuals that cook their own food have full control to cook, no ed, only healthy stuffs. I don't really like that word stuffs. Healthy food, healthy products, healthy meals, healthy dishes. Okay, lots of other options. For example, an extensive study by Oxford University showed that over 90% of families that always consume traditional foods are healthier and have strong and close family relationships, not family, either family ties or family relationships, not both. Thus, it is possible to state beyond doubt that choosing the right foods to take to eat has a tremendous impact on modern daily life. Okay, so now that I read the whole thing, you could have done something else. You could have said something like, let's see. Let me see if I can make this work somehow. Just give me a second. Let me think about it. Whole thing again. Now, here you're talking to us about why fast food is bad. And then here you're talking to us about why traditional food is good for families. This isn't really what you're supposed to be talking about here, okay? This is not a discuss both sides. Oh, fast food good, fast food bad, traditional food good. You're supposed to be focusing just on fast food. So this for me was a little irrelevant. Like I said, yes, you should kind of provide some sort of comparison with traditional food, but it shouldn't be the focus of your paragraph. Instead, the focus should be on the effect of fast food on the family. Okay? So you could have said things like, for Furthermore, it is clear that the adoption of fast food in the family has an effect on familial ties. This is because families that used to spend a good deal of time together preparing meals and eating them around the family table are no longer doing so. Instead, they quickly grab a fast food meal on the go. And the result of this is that families are spending less time together and bonding less, which weakens the family relationship. That's how you were supposed to do this, okay? But not talking about, hey, look how great homemade food is. We know that, but you're supposed to talk about the effect of this on families, and then in that, compare it somehow with traditional food. Now, the other thing is that there's, again, no mention of society. So what does this all mean to society? I think a really good opportunity to talk about society would have been in this paragraph. And you could have talked about how, so for example, like colon cancer, when you mentioned that, think about the effect this has on the insurance system. Think about the effect it has on the health system. Like if all of our doctors are busy treating colon cancer because everyone's busy eating fast food, then, well, they can't possibly treat other cancers that have not been caused by us eating bad food. Okay, so that's some way you could have mentioned society. So when you talk about like the health system, or when you talk about like the medical profession, or the economy of a country, then you're talking about how it affects society. Okay, so the greater whole of the people around us. So you had to somehow do that as well. Okay, let's move on. So, conclusion. From the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although fast food businesses offer economic growth to one's country, lowercase the benefits of traditional foods through home-cooked meals are much more practical and a healthier way, and therefore its impact is considerably greater. It is it's predicted that the traditional foods will increasingly grow in importance. Okay, again, that's not what this essay was about. It wasn't, fast food bad, traditional food good, as I already said to you. It was, they gave you this situation. Traditional foods are being replaced by fast food. That's a given. We know that. And then the question is, does this shift have a negative impact on our families, our individuals, and our society? Okay, so you weren't supposed to talk about, hey, on the whole, I think traditional food is better. That's not the point. Okay, Rolando. So you need to kind of rewrite this and rework it so that you're focusing on this situation that they've asked us to take for granted, that yes, this is the fact. We're focusing more on fast food and not on traditional food. And how does this negatively affect our society, our individuals, and our families? Okay, let's go on to your task 1, your letter to your friend. Wow, it's a long letter. Wow. Okay, let's see. I'm curious if this took you 20 minutes because it's really long. Let's see how long it is. Wow, it's 300 words. It's really just too long. You probably should have tried to keep it maybe 200 words. All right, so it's about 100 words over length. And when I say over length, not that you would be penalized for that. It's not like there's a word maximum, but I think it's difficult to write this many words, and there's really no reason for it. So a good rule of thumb is like 200, maybe a little more than 200 max, but that's it. Don't go overboard because you might be getting off topic. You might be making more grammatical mistakes as you include more words than you really need to. So try to avoid this. Okay, let's see what you said. Hi, Anne. How are you? Hope everything is well with you. I just wanted to let you know that I've visited the city of Manila, which is very close to your place, 3 weeks ago for some urgent business conference meetings. I know you will be disheartened of hearing this news from me, as we've both badly missed each other and longing for our face-to-face bonding trip together. Okay, hold on a second. So here, Rolando, we have a misunderstanding of this task. It says you had a plan to visit your friend who was living there. So you informing Anne, hey, guess what? I was in Manila, but sorry, I couldn't see you. That doesn't really make sense because supposedly you and Anne had already made plans, and for some reason you canceled them. So now you're writing her to explain it. So this isn't really, this doesn't really fit with what you're supposed to be talking about. Let's try it again. So, hi Anne, how are you? Hope everything is well with you. I wanted to apologize. You said I initially planned to surprise you. Okay, that's not really what they mean. You're supposed to apologize because you had plans, because it doesn't make any sense for you to apologize to her when she had no idea that you were even supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like I said, a little misunderstanding of what this task is about. Okay, so I just want to let you know that I visited the city of Manila, which is very close to your place, 3 weeks ago. It should be simple past because you told us when, 3 weeks ago, for some urgent business meetings, not conference. I know you will be disheartened hearing this news from me, as we've both badly missed each other and long for our face-to-face bonding trip. I don't know about that. And both long for our face-to-face conversations or face-to-face time together. I think that would have worked better. Or our face-to-face bonding would have been just fine. I sincerely apologize for not being able to meet you. I initially planned, past, to surprise you, and that's with an apostrophe, why I did not tell you upfront about it. I even brought your favorite cheesecake and Italian sausage. Okay, the conference meeting was only 2 days, but I requested to extend it for a week as I wanted to spend the rest with you. I was very excited as my manager approved my 1 week leave. After the conference ended on the second day, we received unfortunate news from our IT headquarters that our company data system got compromised by hackers and the system was down. Okay. Everyone got alerted and management asked everyone to help to find ways to resolve it and keep the business operation running to avoid customer escalations. I was forced to return immediately to our main office as it's difficult to communicate with my teammates remotely. I left your favorite cheesecake and Italian sausage at the hotel. I instructed them to keep them frozen, yes, and gave your name and full address for them to deliver it to your home. We were able to get our system back only last Monday, and our business operations seem to be flowing smoothly now. Once we finish the system stabilization phase of my work, I will take a leave for a week. I will fly there again and spend it with you. Lots of love. Okay. So, yes, you apologize. Yes, you gave your reasons. You did this, but really so briefly that I wanted more of this. You just kind of had one sentence saying, okay, next month I'll come. And that's not really appropriate because look at how much time you spent analyzing that second bullet, and then you really just dedicated one sentence to the last bullet. It's not even a suggestion. Think about the language of suggestion. Why don't we? Let's. perhaps we could, maybe we can. That's language of suggestion, and that's what they're testing you on here, to make sure you understand these functions. So it's really important to pay attention to these verbs, okay, and use them correctly. So for me, you spent really way too much time on the second bullet and not enough on the third. I already told you you should have cut out so much of this, like at least, 100 words. And again, you needed more here. Suggestion, not I will take a leave and fly out there. That's not a suggestion, that's a plan. So that needs to be worked on. Okay, so a lot of things in this correction today. I hope it all makes sense. It's a lot of information. So get started on correcting these essays, return them to us corrected, and let's see new essays from you. Alrighty, I'll be waiting for them, so good luck.